So in a new report, Carlsbad ranked as the least affordable place to buy a house in San Diego. What other 4 cities made the list? Well, we're going to get into all that, how they came up with these numbers, and what that means for you as a potential buyer or seller right here in San Diego. So let's get into it right now. Howdy, Chris Erickson right here in San Diego with the Beach Life Group. If you guys are thinking about making a move, just as a reminder, love making these videos for you, these weekly updates of what's going on around town, but also a real estate agent right here in San Diego. So if you are thinking about making the move, feel free to drop down below in the description, book a discovery call. We got your back when making the move here in San Diego. So I first saw this, that Carlsbad ranked the least affordable housing market in San Diego metro area. Realty Hop, I haven't actually heard of them until this article, but I'm going to show you the actual report, so what that actually means. But it ranked a few different cities. Obviously, affordability is key. Right now, sitting in July of 2023, affordability has gone down quite a bit as well. But another part of that is the mortgage rate. So I'm going to show you where they're sitting right now. So let's just jump into the report from Realty Hop and show you what other areas made the list. So real quick, as we get into this too, some of these numbers are going to be insane. You're like, that doesn't even make sense. And some of these numbers too, like how much you would be purchasing your home for and how much your monthly payment would be compared to how much you make, isn't really going to make sense. It's not going to happen, especially if you're getting a loan. Lenders do have specific rules they have to follow when they are writing your loan. Now, here's how they ranked them: a share of income for home ownership, including taxes and your mortgage, obviously. So right now, Carlsbad is sitting about 70%, where the most affordable is Chula Vista, sitting about just shy of 49%. Key findings being Chula Vista has the lowest medium purchase price at $730,000. Here's where it plays into unaffordability. Carlsbad is sitting about $1.465 million. And the one thing about all these two, Chula Vista, Carlsbad, they all have different areas. So Carlsbad has the 4 different zip codes. You have the 2 coastal ones, 92008, 92011, and then you have inland, 92010 and 92009. So every little section is going to be different. The affordability that they did mention being the least affordable, Carlsbad is the least affordable housing market in the San Diego metro area, where households spend almost 70% of their income on mortgage and property tax payments. So let me just cue that up real quick, because nobody is spending 70% of their income on mortgage and property tax payments, because, well, first off, that would be insane. And you may have heard this expression, house poor, meaning, or house broke, referring to where homeowners have bought homes beyond their means. If you're spending 70% of your income on a home, you definitely are considered house poor. So like I said, a lot of lenders aren't even going to lend on that potentially 70% of debt to income ratio. Most conventional loans will allow no more than 45%, but some lenders will accept ratios as high as 50%, meaning 50% of what you bring in is going to be going towards your house. Now, as a general rule of thumb, the 28% rule, according to Chase Bank, the 28% mortgage rule states that you should spend no more than 28% of your monthly gross income on your mortgage payment, including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So that is the DTI number that we were just discussing. Now, San Diego's a little bit different because price points are a little bit higher. So a lot of people who are purchasing homes, this number is going to be a little bit higher than the 28%, but 70% is kind of bananas. It's out of the game. It's nobody's doing that. You wouldn't even be able to get a loan at that amount. And so right here, it's breaking down the 5 that they have in this study, showing the Carlsbad, the median household income at just over $130,000, the estimated mortgage payment plus taxes on a $1.465,000 house is going to put you at a debt to income ratio of about 70%. Like I said, all those numbers we just went over, it's really not going to be doable. Most of these are going to be where you're going to be house poor, or you're going to be buying beyond your means. As with any financial decision, talk to your financial person, talk to your tax guy, talk to anybody you can to see what your actual numbers are going to be, because it's super important. You don't want to buy a house and then can do nothing else. You want to be able to buy the house, enjoy the house, start paying off the house, build some equity, still be able to go out to dinner, maybe go on vacation. And here's what they use to calculate the index: the projected median household income, which I just mentioned. There are some flaws in that. Now, everybody that does have that household income doesn't necessarily buy a house. So they're just taking it and saying everybody who lives here has this household income. And if you bought a house, then this is how much you would be paying. But in reality, that's not exactly how it works. They're also using the median for sale home listing price. They're also doing local property taxes, which in San Diego, when you do purchase a house, you're paying 1%. That's the base, is 1% of the purchase price for property taxes. So at $1.465 million, you're looking at about $14,650 in property taxes per year. That's just the base. There's also going to be potentially Melloroos depending on where you're at, and also some other bonds and stuff in there. So ballpark, we always say about 1.25% of the purchase price, but for the tax assessor, it's going to be that 1% amount. That's what you're going to see on your tax bill every single time. And it will go up potentially every year by 2%. And they're calculating the mortgage expenses, assuming a 30-year mortgage at 5.5% interest rate and a 20% down payment. Now, you don't have to put 20% down on a home. A lot of people who we are working with put anywhere between 5 to 50% down. It just really depends on the house and the person. Obviously, cash buyers as well. But here is something else that is changed since they've done their report: the 5.5% interest rates. All right, so let's talk interest rates a little bit and show you what we're working with right here. And I'll show you that that number is going to go up even further. As of today, I'm going to take these other two off and just go with the most updated mortgage news daily. We're sitting on the 6th of July, and the mortgage rates have, you can see, been on a steady climb. So they're not at that 5%, which we haven't been for quite a while, till probably way back here, which was nearly a year ago now, where it was 5.5%. Now we're sitting at 7.22%. And once again, don't let any of this scare you away. Talk to a lender, talk to a real estate person to figure out what your specific situation is, because the 7.22% is kind of average across the board, depending on good credit, bad credit. It doesn't matter. This is kind of the average that they're seeing in the market right now. So this can definitely fluctuate for you. It really depends. It could be higher, it could be lower, and it doesn't necessarily give you it gives you a good idea. It shows you where the trend is, what's going on with interest rates as a whole. You can see they are trending up, but your specific situation is going to be a little bit different. And if you did get it with the new calculations, that same price at Carlsbad, the median price of $1.465 million, you had the 20% down, which they mentioned, but you put in 7.22% as the interest rate. You could see the total monthly payment goes to nearly $10,000. All right, so let's hop into each individual Carlsbad zip code, give you a quick little market update, let you know what's actually happening right now, boots on the ground. So market action index, I'll show you each one. It's how's the market by comparing the rate of sales versus inventory. Last year, these numbers were much higher. Some of the factors that are making it skew a little bit lower this year is the interest rates. There aren't as many buyers out there. There's also not as many houses for sale. That does factor in as well, but it is still a little bit lower than last month. Right now, median list price in this section of Carlsbad is $2.3 million. Now we're going to go clockwise, and we're hopping over to kind of Calvary Hills, 92010. You can see it's a stronger seller's market over there, basically about the same as last month, where 92008 was in that 40 range. The median list price for a home is more affordable over here. It is $1.5 million. I'm going off the 7-day average, but once again, same story. Not as many homes, less homes for sale than last year, but also the number of buyers in the market is a bit less. Now hopping into 92009, kind of the La Costas, all that area over there, you can see the market action index basically about the same as the northern part of Carlsbad. And median price here is a bit more. Like I said, it is the 7-day average, $1.9 million. If you want to go 90-day average, these are all active homes too. So this is everything on the market, which there's not a ton. So the number could be skewed a little bit higher because the number of active homes out there is a little bit lower, but is about 2.1 million. And then 92011, the most heavily skewed towards a seller's market. One of the biggest factors, like I keep mentioning, is the inventory, the number of homes for sale. Right now it's held steady at or around 13 homes 13 homes for sale in this whole zip code, which is crazy. So that does skew heavily towards a seller's market, meaning less competition out there, and the median price is going up. 7-day average $1.9 million. So what does all that mean? Basically, there's not a lot of homes for sale, but also the number of buyers compared to last year is a bit lower as well. If you want to see what happens in a 7% interest rate plus, 7% plus interest rate environment like we are in now, go check out the last video that is popping up. It's what happens last year when rates did get higher above that 7% mark. I'll give you a hint. Kind of slowed down a lot, meaning buyers did back out of the market. But with anything you're reading, any sort of news, anything that you see as a headline, if you really want to know what's going on, well, you could tune in here because we're dropping new videos every single week. Drop me a comment too if you have something you want us to talk about in these videos, but really dive in because the story behind what's actually happening is a little bit different than what they're actually showing in these headlines. And just as a quick reminder, if you guys are thinking about buying or selling here in San Diego, we're the Beach Life Group, and you can book your discovery call right down below. We got your back when making the move here in San Diego.